say. We are say. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You chat too much. I lie. Don't mix me. Don't mix me. Oh dear. No sir. No sir. You chat too much. Are you kidding me? I lie. Oh dear. It's serious. This is serious. No sir. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's serious. It's serious. Are you kidding me? We are say. We are say. You chat too much. You chat too much. No sir. No sir.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the talk show, podcast, debate show, whatever you want to call it. Somewhere where you can air your views, chill and spill. How is everybody doing? I am your host, Nubian, and to my right is my co-host, Zuz.
Hey, y'all.
Hope everybody is doing good. Big up Kick, YouTube, Mixcloud, Bigo, Facebook, YouTube. Did you say YouTube? YouTube.
You said YouTube.
You can say it again.
Mixcloud. I was gonna say it again. GMPC Live.
Let's not forget the GMPC Live. We can't forget GMPC Live Radio, you know.
Big up, you
Big
yourselves.
up DJ General earlier for blessing the airwaves with the good gospel and blessing everybody's day and the week ahead, because that's what it is. Every Sunday, you can tune in to GMPC Live Radio, where you will get DJ General playing the best gospel you've ever heard. You just feel so relaxed.
Ready to start the week.
Ready to start the week. He sets you up for the week. So big up yourself, General. Big up Benson each and every time. Sir Benson, big up yourself. Big up World Love. Love Doctor, DJ Jackie, Mark, Rooster, Abraham, Ecstatic, Tramouch, Sean, Abraham. Big up yourselves, man. Big up yourself. Big up all the DJs on our radio live.
Big up Father Mango.
Of course. How can we forget Father Mango? My bad. This is why we have co-hosts. So they can remind you of things. Come on now, let's do it. Big up yourself, Ace. Big up yourself each and every time. And big up yourself, Faye. Welcome to
Hey,
Chill
guys.
and Spill. Hope everybody's doing good. Wow. What a week it's been. Very, very busy week. I'm not going to lie. It's half term. That's what I have to say.
Let's not talk about it.
It's half
talk
term.
about it.
Yeah, so, boy, if you got children, you should know what time of day it is. It's not no joke. It's serious something. Make sure you got something to do every single day for them children. You understand? Otherwise, your brain is going to get fried. I'm telling you now. So, it's been a very, very busy week for myself. Juggling work, juggling life. Life will be lifing, but we are here.
We are here.
What do you mean? We are here to entertain the people them with real life stuff. It's not even entertain. We're addressing real life situations that happen. Come on now.
It's a deep one today.
It's definitely deep. So Zuz, how's your week been?
My week's been... How's it? Oh. My week has been intense. It has been intense.
Ooh.
But I'm here nonetheless with you guys, blessing the airways, as Nubian always says. Yeah, it's been an intense week. I was very much looking forward to the weekend for some well-deserved relaxation, because that's how intense it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was tense.
Seriously.
So, yeah, it was a lot of work going on. So my brain finally got to woosah and relax a little piece, you know. It's
Just
Sunday,
a little.
just a little, you know, ready
yeah.
for Monday. But we're not thinking about Monday right now.
Oh, yeah, we've got to be talking about tonight.
We're talking about right now.
Tonight. Big up yourselves, Aisha, Kapreem.
Big up yourself.
Welcome
Hi,
to Chill
guys.
and Spill. Hey, everybody. Lovely to see all the platforms, them lighting up. Remember, if you can like, share, follow and subscribe to all our wonderful platforms that we have. Come on now. It's not hard. It's very, very easy. And if you're new, it's free. It's a free thing to do. You don't have to pay. I mean, come on now. We're all looking for freeness.
100%.
We can't go to the supermarket and get free food, but you can do this for free. Everybody would like free food, you know. Come on now, cost of living and all these things. And it's not just happening in the UK, it's happening everywhere. But yeah, like, share, follow and subscribe to all our platforms, please. And I feel like the most important part is the sharing.
Yes, share.
Share as much as you listen. There's no limits to the share.
Just keep sharing.
Just share it.
Just keep sharing so we can spread the word.
To the world, to the
the
masses.
This is
Come
a
on.
safe space to express yourself.
Exactly. Come on now.
Don't forget, we have a live call-in number.
Studio number.
We have a live number. The number is
07903 129.
265.
And we're going to do it again, just in case you didn't get it. 07903 129.
265.
And the number's also running across the screen. So, yes. You know, if you didn't catch it, it's on the screen. Very slowly going across there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can't see it, please put some glasses on.
Don't give me a joke.
No,
Where's your
seriously.
glasses?
No, I'm joking. No, seriously. It's there for the whole show. And that number's also for the radio, people that's listening on the radio, because they can't see us and they can't see the screen. So that number's also for the people on the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
So, without further ado, let's get into it, man. What is the hot topic tonight? Yeah? What is the hot topic tonight?
Oh,
Let's get into it. The title is Traumatized Parents.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
traumatized parents? I feel like we could
Traumatized
be
parents.
here forever.
This needs to have a part 2, I'm very sure.
100%.
Traumatized parents. Now, what can we say about traumatized parents? There is masses and masses, thousands and thousands of traumatized parents. Yeah?
100%.
The chain, it goes from way back. So their parents, and it goes just like that through the chain. They were traumatized. Yeah? So they traumatize their children. And then them children become parents, and then they traumatize their children, and the cycle continues.
Yes. And also, sometimes you might, you know, your parent didn't come from a traumatized background, or they didn't come from traumatized parents. They could have come from a 2-parent home or a single-parent home, and they grew up fine. They had no traumas. Challenges, yes, but no traumas. But because of their life choices and decisions that they have made, they have now become the traumatized parent.
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
This is a serious topic,
this is a serious topic. Like, how if you have a traumatized parent, or you're a traumatized parent, or you've gone through any trauma, how has that affected you as a person?
Yeah.
How has it affected your decisions, your
Yep.
decision making,
That's it.
your relationships? And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about all relationships, friendships, on a whole.
Yeah.
How has it affected how you move forward in life?
Because some people feel like, you know, because they were traumatized as a child, it's okay to then traumatize their children.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. No, sir.
Absolutely not.
No, 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 sir.
It's not okay. Because I'm not being funny. Yes, there's a lot of people. I know a few people that have been traumatized when they were children, and they have made the conscious decision not to traumatize their children because of it.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah.
Big up to those people that's breaking.
They have made a stand and said, listen, I don't care if I was traumatized as a child. I refuse to traumatize my children the way I was traumatized, because the cycle has to change, you know. But at the same time, it's also finding a balance as well, because you can be so lenient as a parent as well that
you don't discipline your children at
all.
Ooh, it's a bit of a catch-22 doing that, like,
because discipline there's lots of ways to discipline your children.
Yes,
let's get it straight.
Yeah.
Because it's not all the time it's physical abuse. No, I'm talking about, you can ground your children. You're not going to that party. You're not going out with your friends.
The naughty step.
Yep. Your phone confiscated, tablet, whatever it is. No TV. There's loads of ways of disciplining your children. So it's finding that balance. All right, there isn't a book.
No, there isn't.
There isn't a book to say, okay,
really
this is how to be a parent. And obviously you learn what you've seen around, you know, as you've been growing up.
You learn from your parent. You learn from your parent. Welcome aboard, Mandy.
Welcome aboard, Mandy.
Hi,
Welcome aboard. I
Mandy.
haven't heard that name before. Welcome aboard, Mandy. Welcome to Chill and Spill.
Mandy says parents don't realise the knock-on effect their trauma has on their children. Hear ye.
Hear ye.
I don't think they really. I don't think. Now, not all parents, you know. I'm just saying some parents. I don't think some parents realise that the decisions or how they carry themselves in life and the decisions that they've made affect their children. They just feel like, yeah, I've done what I've done. There's no accountability and there's no acknowledgement. Can we just let that marinate?
Yeah, that needs to marinate. No accountability.
No accountability and no acknowledgement.
Really?
So, as a child, you want your feelings to be validated by your parents. At the very least, you would think that your feelings should be validated by them.
Yes.
So then when your feelings are not being validated, it's just like, well, what I feel doesn't matter.
Yep.
No one cares about what I feel. So then why should I care about what anyone else feels?
Yeah, and what about manners and respect? Like, boy, to me, children that don't have manners and respect bothers me deeply.
No, sir. Oh dear.
You have to have manners and respect as children. But if you have been brought up in a manner where manners and respect is not valid, we don't really care about manners and respect.
Non-existent.
It's non-existent in this house. How are the children supposed to have manners and respect going forward? Manners and respect takes you all the way through your whole entire life, having manners and respect.
And not even just that, how are they going to be as adults? Because children grow into adults. And I feel like it's very important as a parent to be mindful about don't get me wrong, certain decisions it's out of your hands, but things that you can help, I feel like it's important to remember that your children are not children forever.
Exactly.
Okay, they're gonna remember the time where you said, you know what, you get on my nerves. You're not even good enough.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
little things like that,
Yeah.
which you think that.
Because I'm not being funny. There's some of us remember what teachers have said to us, most less parents.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Do you know what I mean? When you're younger, what the adults say to you in a negative way will stick with you for the rest of your life. You're not gonna amount to nothing.
Yep.
Like what?
Or the lack of the absentee, the absent parent, because to me that is a traumatized parent. You not being there for your kids, there's some sort of trauma there. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to come from your parents being traumatized. That could just be on the decisions that you've made, or the situation that you have with the mother of the child or the father of the child that's now made you be an absent parent. That in itself is causing the children to be traumatized and have a traumatized parents.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Am I
it's a
gassing
deep
the
one.
thing here? You know, like sometimes you think you're gassing the thing.
No,
Like-
it's true though. It's very true because, you know, I don't feel like people understand how deep it is to be a parent, to be honest. And how much time and effort it takes to be a parent. And not because you was traumatized, you must traumatize your children.
Daddy issues is a real thing. Just saying.
It's a real thing.
And so is mummy issues. It's a real thing.
Mummy issues is definitely a thing because, boy, I don't know. A lot of the boys, they gravitate to the mother more sometimes. And then the girls gravitate more to the dad.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what the dad does, you know.
No.
Doesn't matter what the dad does, if he was absent or not, they will still find a way to forgive their dad. You know, because I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's the opposite sex. I don't know. But they always find forgiveness in their heart for the dads. The mothers now, they're supposed to be the nurturers. I'm not saying no dad is a nurturer, you know, but the mother is supposed to be the nurturing one, the one that teaches you, you know.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be, yeah.
Supposed to be. Can we underline that? Because I don't know what it is. Is it this day and age? I feel like maybe it's been happening from back in the day, actually. It's been happening, but maybe it wasn't so in our faces. But not all mothers are maternal.
No, they're not.
They're not. Not all mothers are. You would think that that's because
It will come naturally.
it will come naturally because they are a woman,
Yeah.
and this is what they're supposed to do, and this is what they're being put on the earth to do. That doesn't mean that they are maternal and can give that nurturing love
Yeah.
to their child. And then again, the lack of makes that child, especially the son, not trust women.
Yeah.
Or feel like there's some sort of agenda when it comes to women, yeah, which is it's just crazy, and it's the same with the men. It's the same with the dads and their daughters. If the daughters feel abandoned or anything, that affects the choices that they make in terms of
What partner they choose.
Nubian.
Yeah, man. What partner do you choose? If you haven't been shown the right way. No, seriously. If you haven't been shown the right way from your dad and how a man is supposed to treat a woman and vice versa, how are you supposed to make the right decision for you as an individual?
You're going in blindly.
Yeah. Your eyes are closed.
Your eyes is closed.
Don't know what's going on.
You got the blinkers on.
Yeah.
You're the horse at the Grand National with the blinkers on.
It's true.
Like you
haven't
can't
got a
see
clue.
what's on the left and you can't see what's on the
You
right.
haven't got a clue on what's going on, where you're going. Is this person right for you or not? A lot of the times you make the wrong choices of partners because of that.
And it's crazy. Welcome aboard, Danny.
Welcome aboard, Danny. Welcome aboard.
Hi,
Tell the spill.
Danny. Danny says, I feel like I have been the victim of a traumatized parent whilst also being traumatized becoming a parent. Ooh. There is a lot of emotional baggage I did not know I had until entering relationships and becoming a parent myself.
Oh.
This serious.
Danny, hear ye. Hear ye. I'm not laughing at the situation, but I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. the emotional baggage that you have
Yeah.
from not only your traumatized parent, but then becoming a parent yourself in a traumatic situation.
And would the parent, you know what it is as well? Sorry, Danny, but would the parent even admit that they're traumatized? What if you was to address your parent and say, you know, not disrespectfully?
No, sir.
You don't do it disrespectfully, swearing or nothing like that. You just sit them down and say, oh, you know, how was your upbringing, your childhood, mum or dad? You know what I mean? How was it for you? Was it a smooth run? Was it, you had a great upbringing? Was there trauma?
See, that's an ideal situation. But I feel like even if you as a child, no matter how old you are, you're still a child to your parent. I feel like even if you had the opportunity to ask your parent, you know, how was your childhood? How was it you brought up? There's an element there. There's some parents that will just shut it down. They're not opening up. They're looking at you like, what? Are you a therapist? Like, why are you asking me
Why
these
you asking my
questions?
business?
Move and go. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's just like...
It depends what sort of parent you have as well.
Yeah, it depends on what sort of parent
Because
you have.
if you're a traumatized parent, there's no way you can that your child can feel comfortable to sit down and reason with their parent, because they're unapproachable, because they're traumatized.
And not only that, I feel like sometimes when you're seeking answers from your parents, and I've seen a lot of the comments on the texts that's come through, I feel like no matter how much times you might express yourself to the parent on how they made you feel, you're not getting anywhere. There's no real concrete answer. Will you ever be happy with the answer that they give you?
Yes,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Are you going to be happy?
Are you going to be happy? even if that parent broke it down, laid it all out on the table, is that still enough? I don't know.
Is that valid? Is it going to be valid for you? You know, is that validating for you? Are you going to be like, that's no excuse, sorry?
Or, again, you might not get nothing. You might just get, you know, that's how life is. I saw it go, you know, let's keep it moving. And you get nothing.
True.
So then in that sense, then what do you do? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you just kind of like shove down those feelings, never talk about it, never express yourself? Because to me, I feel like it has an effect on how you deal with things in life in its entirety.
It's true.
It has a major effect. Welcome aboard, Toppy. Am I saying it right?
Oh.
Toppy.
Welcome aboard. Correct us if we're not saying it right.
Yeah, correct me if I'm not saying it correctly. Toppy says, it's been traumatic for me, especially coming from an African family. There is no expression of feelings in my household.
Oh.
This serious.
Thank you, Toppy.
Yeah, thank you for expressing that.
For expressing that, because I'm sure that wasn't easy to kind of say on this kind of platform, and you're not anonymous, so
exactly.
you're happy. You're being open and transparent.
Yeah,
but it's very similar, just like with the African families and the Caribbean families, and I'm sure many other families as well of all ethnic backgrounds. But particularly because she mentioned her African family, you can't express yourself. Even in some Caribbean families, it express what? How you feel? What is that?
Yeah. We don't care how you feel.
What that mean?
Exactly.
What
do you
you
pay
mean
the
by?
bills? Do you pay the bills? What do you do?
Exactly. Why do you have any feelings? You eat. You have a bed in the house.
Yeah,
you have a roof over your head.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can bathe your skin. Don't tell me about your issues. I don't want to hear it.
Yep.
Just make sure you read your book.
It's pretty much cold.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like how many parents tell their children that they love them as well? Because if they weren't taught that, the traumatized parent, to me, a traumatized parent weren't told none of them things. That, that we love you, give me a hug, you know, cry on my shoulder when you're down.
Yes.
I don't think a traumatized parent has ever experienced any of that.
No.
So how are you going to receive that from a partner when you're an adult? Do you know what I mean?
It's very difficult.
It's techie, you know.
It's techie.
Wow.
It is so techie because, again, like you said, if I'm in a relationship Or even in a friendship, I can't even say, "Oh, I love you, girl, man." I can't even say that. I can't even bring myself to say that because I've never experienced that. No one's ever told me that they love me. So how am I supposed to say to anyone that I love them?
And another thing as well, I feel like, you know, even favourites, having favourites in with the siblings and stuff like that.
I don't believe in favourites.
I just feel like I feel like they were taught that. That parent was taught that when they were younger, hence why they have brought that forward to their children now.
It's a bit mad.
It brings issues, serious issues between siblings. It's just not necessary.
I feel like, you know what, if you have the opportunity at any stage in your life to be able to address your parent, do so. Whether it's going to change anything, I feel like just the expression alone, just getting it off your chest helps you in the long run. You know, just to sit down and say, Mum, Dad, you know what, when you went there, or blah de blah de blah, this is how I felt. Even if the parent denies it. Because one thing I do know is that, you see, with traumatized parents, a lot of the times they like to blame the other parent.
It's true.
What is with that?
It wasn't me, it was your dad. Oh, it wasn't me, it was your mum.
They like to blame the other parent.
Yep.
The parent that might have been in their life, the main carer.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So the absentee parent likes to blame the main carer parent.
Yeah.
About the things that they didn't do.
Their actions.
Yep. No, take accountability. And again, there are parents out there that will never take accountability. They feel like, if I take accountability or I apologize, then I am beneath you.
I'm weak.
And I'm weak. And I'm the parent at the end of the day, and you're the child.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm 50. You know, like, you're never going to say...
Listen, we're not going to sugarcoat nothing, years. We have to realise that the children these days as well, they haven't got no respect, a lot of them. Whether they've been brought up in a great way, a balanced upbringing... Imbalanced. A lot of the children, them, they have a mouth on them. I'm not going to lie. Yes. And I do believe it's because of social media, and obviously when you go to school and your friends and see how they behave, you don't know how to take school and home. They're two separate things. And sometimes the children bring how they behave at school home.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes some parents are chilled. And you know what as well? Not because you're rough, you're traumatized, but sometimes if you're too soft as well, you're also a traumatized parent, you know. It's not just a hard parent with the strict rules. Even if you're a softer parent, you still are traumatized because of what you've been through. You don't want to be like that with your children.
So you're doing the complete opposite.
You may even be scared of your own children as well. It's a bit deep.
That's very deep.
Yeah. You know, it's not all about the tough, strong parent that, you know, that don't take no nonsense. Sometimes when you're lenient as a parent, you can also be seen as a traumatized parent.
Big up Benson on the live.
Oh. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, Benson.
Welcome aboard, Benson. Yeah, no, it's crazy, isn't it? And obviously, you know, we want to be deep and we want to be honest. And
welcome aboard, Rooster.
Hi, Rooster.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. And I find that, you know, a lot of people, you know, we're not cussing out the parents or anything like that. We ain't doing any of that. We're not trying to knock any parents because it's a challenging job. But we do want everyone to acknowledge that, you know, you can be traumatized. You could be a traumatized parent and don't even realise that you're a traumatized parent.
Exactly.
Because of your own upbringing.
Faye says, even the language that's used in family sometimes, swearing at the children, etc. As the child grows up, they will be swearing at the parent. Exactly that.
This is what I mean by bringing school, or not even school, how the parent treats them, that's how they're going to treat their parent.
And that's how they're going to treat their peers. That's how they're going to treat people that they're in the workplace. Like, you're carrying this baggage throughout your life, and you're using it as life skills, and it's not a life skill.
No, it's not a life skill.
It really isn't. And there needs to be some drastic change now. Like, no one is perfect. We all have challenges. We've all gone through some sort of trauma.
Got flaws.
We've all got flaws. We've all gone through some sort of trauma. And I feel like, even me, I think to myself, how best can I deal with something? Do you get what I'm saying? Whatever trauma I've been through, how can I best deal with it? I always try to look within, even if there's nothing, even if there's no blame on my part, but you always contribute to something, innit? But even if there's no blame on my part, I always try to reflect on how best can I be, or how can I better myself, or how can I heal myself to be the best parent I can be. 100%.
Yeah.
Because if I don't think like that, well, I'm just going here again with the horse, with the blinkers. I'm blind. Do you get what I'm saying?
For sure. You know, what is the right way? We're not trying to tell you the right way, but we do want you to address trauma. Now,
ladies, let me know. Anyone out there that's got daddy issues, has that affected who you pick?
Yeah.
Or how you pick your partners, and maybe the situationships that you've been in? Because I feel like, again, it's a little bit of a catch-22. Because I know a few people that's got great fathers. When I mean great.
Yes, Frosties.
Kellogg's Frosties. Great. Yeah? But they still end up in situationships. Now, I don't know if that's... Like, that's the only bit that I don't get, because
no, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. So they may have great fathers, but do they have great mothers, though?
Yes.
That's the next thing, because you have got mothers that are jealous of their children.
Oh, my God.
This serious? Oh, dear. No,
You have got mothers that are jealous of their children.
How can you be jealous of your own
No,
child?
seriously, how they look, what they've become in their life, they've achieved so much. Some mothers are jealous of that, and I don't understand that. It's weird, and they treat their daughters different.
That's crazy.
I know way too many. They treat their daughters different.
That's
because
very
of
sad.
that.
That's very, very sad.
To me, I would have thought that you would want your children to be the most successful that they can be in their life without being snobs about it. Because that's another thing as well. You can make it in your life and achieve everything that you don't want to achieve, but then you just feel like you're the best thing since sliced bread. Nobody can't tell you nothing. You're not relevant in my life.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Also, what about the mothers that, like, because to me, again, even mothers that show their children all these different type of relationships that they've been in. You know, like, there's no consistency with one male figure.
Yeah.
There's a few. I feel like that mother is a traumatized parent.
Yeah.
Because what are you now teaching, especially if you've got daughters? What are you teaching that child? That child's growing up straight away thinking that I either need to have multiple, or I should never stick with one.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Faith says, yes, especially if the child looks like their dad or mum.
Oh my God, it's blasphemy.
Yes, if the child resembles the dad and they're not really fond of the dad, and vice versa, boy.
Yeah, but that's bad mind, because you made that decision to have the child.
No, but what do you expect though? If you've had a child with somebody and they look like them, it is what it is.
Oh,
what do you want?
Well, obviously they're gonna look like them.
Especially
you
if you
had
didn't
a
like
child
them.
with them. Like, hello?
Well,
It doesn't make sense. No.
What's Aisha saying?
Aisha says, whenever there is an absent parent, it's more than likely that there may be some issues. It could be small, it could be subconsciously, but it's there.
This serious. This serious.
Absolutely. That I think, yep, that hit home. Boo. That's true.
That is so
That's true. I don't think we realise, it doesn't matter how minuscule the issue is, you know.
Yeah.
But it has an effect on you that you don't realise, and I feel like you never realise it until you're hitting your 30s plus.
But the thing is, and sometimes there's some parents out there that will say, okay, if I reach out to my parent and say, okay, what's going on, you know, you all right, Riri? And if you don't hear from your parent or the parent, they might be like, well, you don't communicate with me, so why am I going to reach out to you? I've had this situation
serious?
way too much.
Oh dear.
Like, what is that about? Like,
No, sir.
Aisha says, and it has an impact on you. Your shape, it shapes you in some form of way. It does.
It does.
It does have some form of effect.
It does.
And some people, because some people think a lot as well, you know. You got some people that are deep thinkers.
100%.
Some really, really deep thinkers. Sometimes you think to yourself, oh dear, that was deep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was deep. But then, that is what makes the world what it is, because we're all different. You know, you got some deep thinkers and you got some people that just don't think at all.
But this is why we need to talk about this stuff, because I feel like we never talk about it. Even in the black community, it's just like, okay, your parent was traumatized, okay, kind of get over it kind of thing.
Or they wasn't brought up by their parents. That's another thing as well. Some people weren't brought up by their parents. Some people was brought up by their auntie, their uncles, grandparents, you know, a family member, a friend.
Yeah,
There's some people, foster care, like, it is wide.
And again, that goes back to abandonment issues, because if you know, obviously there's certain circumstances, maybe death or whatever, why your parent couldn't bring you up. But in situations where death is not involved and your parent just couldn't bring you up, that abandonment straight away, like you just feel like no matter who you meet in your life, there's a possibility that they're going to leave. So you never actually truly be vulnerable with the person that you're meeting, with your friends, with your partners. You're never truly vulnerable. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's Faye saying?
Faye says, I know people that have not spoken to their mother or father for absolutely years. Wow. And even that's deep.
Holding grudges. We've had a show about this before. For those that don't know, we've had a show about holding grudges. People will hold grudges until the day they die. And it's not even a joke. No,
and that is true. But then there's also the flip side of it. There's also, you know what, I can't talk to you for my own sanity.
That too.
To save myself, I have to remove myself from my parent. And that is crazy. Because again, your parent is the first people that you love.
Yeah.
Mother and father.
Yeah.
That's people that love. You rely on.
That's first love, man.
You're not born independent, okay?
No.
You're not born independent. You depend on your parents.
Until you become a certain age.
And even then, okay, there's big man out there, 65 plus, talking about, daddy, mommy, you have a little, something there that we can,
Exactly. It don't never stop.
It don't stop.
You're a parent forever.
It don't stop.
I wonder if people know that you are a parent forever. There's no cut-off point. You got some people that just can't wait to get away from their parents so they can live their lives. Because I feel like some parents are just so strict sometimes that it's to the child's detriment. It's ridiculous. It's too much. You have to give your children some leniency. I'm not trying to tell you how to be a parent, but it's just a little advice. Because the minute that child gets to a certain age, they're just going to break out and do probably worse things.
Yep. You got to give them a little pinch.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know what I mean? I've spoken to some people and they say, listen, I don't care. At 6 o'clock, I'm turning off the internet. Wow. I hear that.
Well,
because the internet is a bad influence.
it is, and if it works for them, if it's working positively,
that's the thing.
Cool.
These people will never say it's working negatively.
Because it was their idea.
Exactly. Whoever's telling you this information here, the children is not there to back up the chat. To say, you know what, actually this is not working. Because what if I need to do some homework and I need the internet for information?
Yeah.
Where am I going to get the information from?
Yeah.
If you turn off the internet.
Or you lock the cupboard. Or the fridge.
Well.
Don't even.
Lock in the cupboard, lock in the fridge.
Listen.
This serious.
Welcome aboard, Paul.
Paul! Welcome aboard, Paul. Wow. Long time. How are you?
Paul says, I wish I was told more as a child that I was loved and not just ignored or brushed off. I think it would have helped if I knew that I was loved from the beginning of my life, so I knew how to not only receive it, but to give it.
This serious.
I hear that,
big
Paul,
up yourself,
man.
Paul.
Big
for
up yourself
sharing
each and every time. It's true, man.
That is very deep.
It's very, very deep, and I definitely believe that as well.
100%.
You know, if you're not shown love, how are you gonna give it? If you're not shown how to even love yourself, because that has to be taught as well. You know, that you have to teach your children to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you know what. I'm a very handsome man, or I'm a very beautiful woman, inside and out. You know, but there's a thin line, because some people may feel like they're the best looking thing since sliced bread, and no one can tell them. Arrogance will come.
Exactly.
It depends. You have to make sure you try and find that balance.
We've got an anonymous here.
Oh,
Big up yourself, anonymous.
big up yourself each and every time, anonymous.
Anonymous says 99% of the time, whenever I've tried to confront my emotionally neglectful parent, the response was the same. At least you had a roof over your head. See, you got nice clothes, we bought you food and fed you.
Yep.
And I cut them out of my life after realizing they were never going to acknowledge me. I spent years trying to make them know until recently I cut them off. The point I'm making is, most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, if you ever try to let your abusive or neglectful parent know that they caused you trauma, they will find some excuse to deny it. They themselves never received any love or support. So don't bother explaining to them how they caused you your trauma. It's a waste of your time and will cause you more stress. This is the most depressing truth I had to accept at my recovery of neglectful parents, is that they will never accept accountability, and I cut them out of my life after realizing there's no relationship possible.
Wow.
This
Big up
serious.
yourself, anonymous. That is a deep one.
That is a very deep one.
Woo.
You have to kind of take that in.
Jeez, boy.
And that's what I was saying earlier, like, you could, yes, I'm saying if you have the opportunity to express yourself to your parent, then do so. But I feel like you have to kind of do so without expecting anything back or any kind of real acknowledgement or accountability. Now, if you do get that, win-win. That is a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. But I feel like don't go in with the expectation that you're going to get the answers that you need. Because sometimes the answer is within you anyway. I feel like just being able to express it and get it off your chest. One thing as humans, I don't feel like humans truly understand how much we hold things in.
Yeah.
And when we are holding in these traumas and this distress and emotional baggage, it turns into like it literally, it's like a little, like a pocket, and it's just being filled up the time. Little pockets all over your body, and there's an energy there that's just now stagnant in your body of that trauma, and it needs to be released. And if you don't release it, it's just gonna keep affecting you.
It can make you ill.
It can make you ill.
Literally, it can make you ill.
because as they say, stress causes illness.
Yeah.
You know, so if you've got all these traumas built up inside you, all these energies that are stagnant inside you and just locked up, and do you get what I mean? Like it needs to be released, and however you can release it, do so in the safest way possible.
You know what I mean? You got some people that say, you know what, I blame my parents for, you know, how I am today, you know, and it causes mental health. As well, not just sickness, not just physical sickness, mental health. It causes some serious mental health, anxiety, and all these things. You understand? Because what I know is the old school parents, they're not gonna admit that they had any trauma.
No.
When they were growing up.
No.
It's not called trauma.
No.
It's called
life.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you're lucky you never get this. And you're lucky you never get that.
Yeah, and it's the same thing what the Anonymous was just saying.
Yeah.
You were fed. You had a roof over your head. You got nice clothes.
You're lucky this and you're lucky that. What are you complaining for?
But I feel like that's the basic. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't understand. Like, even you mentioning that to me, can you please remember that you decided to have me? We never asked for me, you know.
Yeah.
I did not ask to come here. You made a decision and you brought me into your life. That doesn't mean that you haven't gone through challenges and whatnot, but I feel like we're
not disregarding what you went through.
And we're not disregarding what any parent has gone through, but I feel like what they don't realise is that the clothes and the roof over their head, that all costs money. Accountability costs nothing. Acknowledgement costs nothing. Yeah. These things are all free.
Exactly.
So why can you not give it to me? Do you get what I'm saying though? Like, can we really deep that? These things are free.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes the parents, I don't know. Some parents, they feel like, you know, they don't want to delve into that part of their life. Do you know what I mean? As much as it was traumatic for them, they don't want to delve into that. Do you know what I mean? Because, like you said, who are you? You're just a child. You know, I had you. You can't come and ask me what I've been through. That's none of your business.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't know, man. It's a sticky one.
We've got another Anonymous as well. Pick up yourself, Anonymous.
Pick up yourself, Anonymous. Welcome to Chill and Spill.
People that gave you trauma aren't the type of people who would take responsibility. If they're adults, then they've had plenty of time to change their harmful behaviour, and they've actively chosen not to. It tells you something about their values and priorities.
Wow.
This serious. This serious.
We told you this is a deep topic tonight.
Yeah.
And it's a deep topic, and I feel like it's something that we need to delve into.
Yes.
It needs to be said.
That's right.
There are parents that are just gonna ignore you. There are parents that have done things that, and to them, they don't even remember because they've blocked it out so much. They're so traumatized
that they've
blocked out what they've done to you.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying, like,
they're not the problem, you are. You got those parents as well.
You got those parents.
Yeah,
like, I'm
not the problem. You're the problem.
And that's why we can't have any expectations. I truly believe that we just can't have any. And don't get me wrong, I feel like I was a person that used to have expectations.
Oh dear. No, sir. No, sir.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I have no expectations of anyone. So if whatever you give me, it's always a bonus. Yay! Because I don't. Do you get what I'm saying? Because when
once
you
don't expect anything, it's nice.
It's no disappointment.
It's no disappointment. Yeah.
It's no disappointment, and maybe that's a trauma within myself. Guys, chill and spill. Zuz is spilling the beans.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, maybe that is a trauma within myself.
I think we definitely have a bit of trauma.
Oh, more than.
We've all got trauma, and this is what it's about: addressing it and acknowledging and trying to tweak the trauma and not try to deliver that same trauma you've had to your spawn.
Do you feel like whatever traumas that you've been through have affected the choices that you've made, Nubian?
Thinking hard, you know.
And this is, and again, when I say relationships, I'm not talking about I'm talking about friends.
Oh yes.
I'm talking about
in that case. Yeah. For sure. You know, the trauma that I've been through as a child, we've all had trauma. I mean, not everyone's had trauma, which is great.
Yeah.
But if you haven't had trauma,
brilliant.
Good on you. But the trauma that I've had as a child, I feel like it's definitely affected my adult life, because the friends that you choose, you're looking for something. You're seeking something from what you didn't have. You know?
That's powerful.
Yeah, you're seeking something you didn't have. And then when you realise it's not happening over there, but the thing is, it don't just happen just like that either. Sometimes it takes years before you even realise, hang on a minute, the trauma that I've been to, I'm adding more trauma to my life, actually.
Because
I'm more
you're
traumatized.
in it. Yeah.
I'm more traumatized than I was before. This is not working for me. I have to save myself from some serious mental health.
Yeah.
Because when you go through them traumas, you start to think to yourself, hang on a minute, is there something wrong with me, or...
And do you know what? Yeah, I feel like that kind of hits home for me as well, because then I start thinking to myself, who am I attracting in my life that's also got these traumas?
Yeah. You
why
start
we're all friends?
Yeah. You start
Do you get what I
attracting
mean?
people that's had trauma too.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
And I've had friends that have gone through a lot of trauma, and every time I've spoken to them, it's just trauma. And
in adult life as well.
In adult life and their young life. And it's difficult. And you think to yourself, am I attracting that because I've gone through my own traumas? Is this a reflection of my traumas, or is it just we're friends and we're able to express ourselves to each other where we can give each other healing? But there's a thin line.
So thin.
It's very thin.
Don't get me wrong. You meet good people, you know, in your life and your life journey. Do you meet good people that has got good, you know, a good nature about them and stuff
and
like
good
that.
intentions.
And good intentions. But their trauma overpowers the goodness sometimes, which is a bit disappointing, but it's the truth. What's Faye saying?
Faye says, when the child gets older now and wants to live with their dad or the mother sends them to their father because of the child's behaviour, why does the mother make it difficult for the transition?
It's serious.
I agree, Faye. Why? I feel like it's a power thing, in my opinion.
Using children as weapons.
Yes, using children as weapons. I think it's a power thing, especially if, and again, that is he or she is the traumatized parent.
Yeah.
Whatever they've come from, however they got brought up, they are the traumatized parent, and they feel like they need to kind of take some sort of control of the situation.
Yeah.
And the only way they can do that is the child.
Yeah. That's the only power they have.
That's the only power they have.
Yeah.
Women do it all the time, and men do it all the time. You know, to affect the other parent. There might be men out there that will say, well, I'm not coming to adult business if you've got the child. I'm not coming to see you, because they might think that the mother wants to see them rather than the mother wanting them to see the child.
Yeah.
So because of that, or maybe because the father wants to see the mother and just the mother and doesn't business about the child, they say, you know what? I'm not going to see the child just to bond the mother. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
it's all mind games.
It's mind games. Can we stop playing mind games? Can we actually start connecting as humans?
Yeah, it's a lot of mind games going on.
It's a bit deep.
And forgetting that there's children involved or a child involved. You know what I mean? It's going to affect them. You know, and if you want, no one's perfect, like we said before. There's no such thing as perfect. It doesn't exist.
Perfection.
But at least we can try and do the best that we can to have try and have balanced children.
All you can do is try your best,
That's
guys.
all you can do.
That's all you can do is try your best.
You know what I mean? You can't do anything else but try your best. You get me? But oh my God, I'll tell you something. What a topic, Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, big up yourself, Michael. Michael's coming.
Big up yourself, Michael.
Hi,
welcome
Michael.
to Chill and Spill. Welcome.
Michael says, although I grew up in a 2-parent home, it was a toxic situation. Constant arguing made me feel that is how men and women expressed love to each other. It was only when I met my longtime friend and her family that made me realize I was in a toxic situation. Wow.
Oh, this is serious.
This serious.
Wow. That's mad.
This is absolutely
That's
crazy.
mad. Do you know why? Yeah, because I don't even think we realize. See, he wasn't necessarily in a romantic relationship. He was just with his friend.
Yeah.
And he's gone to his friend's family and seen how they live with
And
each other.
communicate with each
how
other.
they communicate with each other. How
Yeah.
they love on each other.
Yeah.
For him to realize that his situation
It was toxic.
was toxic.
Imagine that.
That is crazy.
Because that's the thing. You will
crazy.
grow up thinking this is the norm.
Yes.
And what's your problem?
Yeah.
Why don't you want to have an argument? People get mad, you know, when you don't. The argumentative party gets mad with the other one if they're not argumentative.
Yes.
I want to mash up the house.
Yes.
They may not trouble you, you know, but they'll mash up the house.
Yep. And
Do you know what I mean?
And to me, all of this ties into self-love. Self-love, acknowledgement, abandonment, all these things tie into one. But loving thyself.
And you know what the killer thing is? How do you even tell the signs of a traumatized person?
It's not. I think repetition.
Because some people, they're very
For
good at
me,
hiding
anyway.
things.
When that
Some
person's always
people are-
repeating themselves about the same thing, you're traumatized. To me, it's my opinion. You know, it's not about anyone else. This is Zuz's opinion. When that person is repeating themselves, so they're like, I'm not talking about repeating themselves in that same conversation. You know, I'm
Faye
talking
says,
about.
Yeah, Faye says, or they send them to the father only to say, I want him back, even though the child and mother are consistently at loggerheads.
Yeah, see,
Constantly, sorry.
yeah, see, it's what I'm saying.
And,
It's a
she said,
power
and
thing.
she said she knows a situation like this right now. With the toxic people,
Oh,
with the toxic family.
with what Michael said.
Yeah.
You see.
And then you go to another.
You go to another person's home, your friend's home, and you see that the love that they have.
Yeah.
And you realize, the segregation that you guys had, or the toxicity that you was in, you thought that was love.
That was
do,
the
you know, do you
norm.
know how mad it is?
That is crazy.
And I feel like, do you know what that affects? To me, my opinion, I feel like that affects how vulnerable you are with a person. You don't necessarily show them your true selves. Not saying you're not being genuine, but you just have this wall up in it, this barrier. You don't want people to kind of get too close in. Like,
yes.
people think that they know you,
The
but really
wall.
and truly, they only know the
Sometimes
surface.
The wall is serious sometimes.
Right, you're an onion. No one's ever. If you're not the party, the dog, if you're not really, really close and been through some things with that person, you'll never see the core.
Welcome
You'll only
aboard,
see the-
Lady Christine.
Hi, Lady
welcome aboard.
Christine.
Welcome. Hope everybody is good on your side. But yeah, we are talking about traumatized parents and how it affects the generations, because it stems from somewhere.
Oh yes, oh yes,
yeah,
it does.
never just start. I mean, you know, I would say it comes from slavery. It comes from then, and then you know how some parents do. Because remember, back in the day, talking about sitting down and reasoning with your parents about everyday life is so rare.
Yes,
You
very,
hardly
very
ever
rare.
know your grandparents and beyond that sitting down with their children and reasoning with them about life. If it ain't got nothing to do with cooking, cleaning, and having manners and respect, don't chat to me.
Yeah,
That's it. There's nothing deeper than that going on. And that's where it stems from. And then it's just getting worse as the years go on.
it just gets worse
people just
and
gets
worse.
worse and worse and worse.
And that's why you have to put yourself first. Whatever the situation, it's just like the two anonymous people that have mentioned their situations, Michael, Paul, Danny, Mandy, all their traumatic situations, you have to put yourself first and do what's best for you, especially the two anonymous that message in, because they said that they've had to kind of remove themselves away from their parent. They had to cut their parent off because it was becoming too much. The neglect, the abuse, or whatever. Do what's best for you. Don't care about what no one's got to say, because at the end of the day, it's only you, you know. I'm not saying you don't have your village and you have your support network, and some people don't have that. Yeah. Some people don't have that. And the only way to get that is to remove themselves from the parent and child relationship. Remove yourself from that to start your own network, to start your own support network and your own village and your own group of friends that you can kind of rely on. But do you? But
then I just think to myself, you know what? The traumatized parent thing, it's such a wide spectrum, because I feel like that it just affects everything, especially when it comes to our community.
100%.
Trust issues. Nobody don't trust nobody.
No one don't trust no one in the black community.
Nobody don't trust anybody because of it.
What?
Because of the trauma. You know what I mean? Welcome aboard, Katie. Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Glad you're loving the show. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, D.
Hi,
welcome
D.
aboard. Welcome to Chill and Spill. What's Katie saying?
Katie says, be free and at peace. Do what's best for you. Amen. Amen.
Amen. No, it's true.
It's true. You literally, it's, don't get me wrong. I feel like as children, you automatically feel like you need to have that relationship with your parent, and you should. You want that. But if you are in a situation that where it is a detriment to your mental health, it's a detriment to you as a person, you have to remove yourself from that situation.
For sure.
You have to remove yourself from that situation. You have to kind of heal and see maybe if later on down the line you can reconnect, or actually just don't reconnect. The two anonymous people have said they had to cut off their parents because their parents never took accountability or acknowledged what they were been through. Oh yeah, you got your clothes, you got a roof over your head, you've got certain things, you were fed, so don't complain about nothing. Yeah. No, can we normalize talking to your children?
Yes.
Sitting them down and saying,
"Are you good?
Are you good?" Like, really talk to me. Like, are you good? How do you feel emotionally, physically, and mentally? Say these things, because you know why? You probably didn't get that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Mm-hmm. Especially if you're of a certain age. I feel like if you're like in your 30s and older, that parent generation, they never sat you down and said, how are you feeling?
There's a lot of masking going on as well.
There's a lot of masking.
A lot of masking. Yeah, a lot of people mask and you know, make it seem like everything's good. There's no problems, there's no issues. I'm perfect.
Yes.
It's not happening.
No, it's not happening. Check on your strong friends.
Yeah, and not only that, your actions as a person will let people know that you're not okay. You may not say it, you know. Yeah. But how you deal with things, your actions lets everybody know you are not okay and you're masking. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you can't hide it, you know.
Especially if you truly know that person, because
you can't hide it.
You can have a confident person that's, you know, they look like they've always got their stuff together, basically. You know, there's even if they face challenges, they've got this. But really inside, they're crying.
Exactly.
Or they're breaking down. And I feel like those people, especially those people, if you've got any friends like that, if you've got any family members like that, check in. And their parents themselves, check in. Because most of the time they're going to act like everything is cool.
Yeah.
And they ain't got no issues. And these times they're stressing. But what it is, they probably feel like they don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I don't want to burden you with my problems.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's not a burden, you know. Faye says, what about children in a home and the parent only interacts with one child and the other child is in the house bringing up themselves?
I mean, it's just correct. crazy.
It's true though.
That happens a
Especially
lot.
when there's a lot of a big age gap as well. That can happen. It may not be a big age
It's
gap, and
either-
it may be a small one. But
yeah.
if there's a big age gap and that child is older, and then the child, you concentrate on the younger child because the child is young, you may forget about the older child.
Or if, not even just that. What if it's a situation where you had the first child, the older child, you know, you was in a happy place, and then maybe, you know, the relationship between the parents, there was a breakdown in relationship, and boom, the mother becomes pregnant, but but the parents are not happy with each other. So then the father or the mother resents the child that's come later down the line because they didn't want to have another child. Do you get what I'm saying? Even though they've chosen to, maybe they don't believe in other avenues, but they've chosen to have the child, but now they've got some sort of resentment for the youngest child, so that the oldest child gets everything that they want, because they know that when they had that child, they were both in a happy, loving place.
Exactly.
But now they're in a place of resentment and they don't care. That child could be affected by that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Now the dad's not even don't business about that child, because that's the child that just literally slipped in. I don't business about you.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
you weren't planned.
You weren't planned. You weren't supposed to be here. Like, and now I'm treating you away. That's crazy. That is crazy.
And like I said, there's a lot of people that were brought up by their grandparents as well. And, you know, you got some people that's been brought up by their grandparents, and then halfway through, like in their teenage years, then they hook back up with their parents.
Their biological
parents. And then they face more trauma. They buck up on more trauma with their biological parents more than their grandparents. That's another thing as well. That is a thing. Like, everything was rosy with the grandparents. You know, because you've got some grandparents that are really nurturing when it comes to bringing up the children. That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, it just depends. And then after you leave your grandparents and you link back up with your biological parents, the trauma.
That is so real, Nubian. That is just so real.
The trauma that you buck up on. Could you imagine how traumatized that child will be? Like, what life is this? I don't know this. What? Go to your room. I only see, you know when you just glimpse your parents? You don't even see them in the day. You don't even see them. You just glimpse them. That's how disconnected they are with the children. Because obviously they haven't been there with them since they were young. So finding that bond with them in their teenage years is probably challenging as in itself. But they might buck up on trauma.
Oh my gosh, that's and you know what it is as well? It's the longing. Because you obviously, like, you know, if you have that like abandonment issues, or you haven't had that parent in your life, you have a longing for it. Because, you know, like, imagine you're in school and you've got that friend, and their dad always picks them up, or their mum always picks them up, and, you know, your parents are never, whether it's your mum or your dad, your parents are never picking you up. It's always your grandma, or it's always your auntie. It's as a child, as young as you are, you're gonna start feeling, well, where's my mum? Or where's my dad? Why is my mum, or where's my dad? Like, why are they not picking me up? How come I'm in this situation? Do I have a mum or dad? Do you get what I'm saying? They start having these questions so young, at such a tender age. They have these questions. So then now when they get to the situation that you were saying, Nubian, and they've been brought up by the grandparents, they've had a great life, and they think to themselves, you know what, let me reach out to my biological parents, and now they've had more stress than they've ever had. And that's why you have to choose you in those situations. Like,
but then the thing is, you know the scary part is that they hold on to the trauma part of their upbringing more than the nice, calm energy part. That's what takes them into their adult life, the trauma part. That is the scary part. Aisha says 100% we need to normalize these types of conversations. And she also says everyone has choices. As an adult, you need to deal with your choices. No child should have to suffer from an adult's mistake.
100%.
Amen.
This serious? This serious? No, sir.
Why is the child suffering because of the mistakes that you made as an adult.
Aye.
That's your business.
Exactly.
It's not the child's fault.
Why am I suffering
Yeah.
for what you've done? You're the parent. Even what you were saying earlier, Nubian, well, you know what, you never phone me pon my earth strong, so I don't phone you. Wait, hold on. Who's the parent here?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's the parent
Yeah.
that's supposed to be doing all these things, and that sets the communication tone. Because try know, if you was communicating with your child from the beginning and phoning in, and even if it's like, consistency is key. Even if it's once a month, I'm not even saying regularly, like every day, like how it should be.
Yeah.
But even if it was once a month, you see that child will make sure they call you on your birthday.
Oh yeah.
Will make sure they're there for you certain events of your life. Even if you're in need, they will go out their way to go and do for you. But when you're not there, when you're absent, and then you have the expectation of them calling you because it's your birthday.
No, sir.
Welcome aboard, C. Welcome aboard. You say you land late.
You land late.
Never mind. Better late than never. That's what I say.
Yes.
And have you worked out what the topic is? And for all those new listeners that have just tuned in, this is the show Chill and Spill. I'm your host Nubian. To my right is my co-host Zuz.
Hey y'all.
And tonight we are talking about traumatized parents.
Traumatized
Oh
parents.
yeah, it's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Can like, share, follow, and subscribe to all the platforms, please.
Yes.
As I've checked, I haven't seen much people liking the video. Can you just press that thumbs up? That'd be great.
Yes.
I'll have 2 up.
2,
Do you
4,
play?
4, 4.
Cuatro. Yeah? Cuatro? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. That'd be fantastic.
Don't forget, we've got a live call in 07903. I think that's actually.
That's what I was thinking myself.
I started going, what is it? Because I'm ready for my next comment. So let Nubian say it.
07903 129
265.
That's 07903 129
265.
That is our live studio number.
Faye says, that is so true, Nubian. A lot of the black community go through that too. Yeah. It's deep. The trauma runs deep. It makes you...
I think Faye's talking about when the grandparents bring you up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when the grandparents bring you up.
Yes.
You know, they've had a wonderful upbringing.
Yep.
Yeah. And then they've transitioned and, you know, been hooked up with their biological parents after so many years. And then they meet up with trauma.
Yeah. Which is...
That there... That is way too common, you know.
It's serious.
That is very, very common. And then, remember, they've got more years of the trauma than the happy times, you know.
Yes. But what about the traumatized parent, okay, that has now traumatized their child so much so that that child has now started to become the parent? Started to have qualities that the parent has. Bad habits. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's easily done.
It's easily done.
But children are sponges, you know.
Exactly.
They soak up everything that the adults do.
Especially, and this is both mother and father. So, you know, you could have a daughter that's picking up men that is similar or very similar to her father, the traumatized
If
parent.
not worse.
If not worse. And then you've got, you know, sons that are picking up women that are similar, if not worse, than their own mother.
Yeah. Because you got a lot of women that just don't like men. They disrespect the men. They what's it called? Slaughter the men to their children. You know, if the dad's absent, that's another thing.
Oh yes.
Yeah, if the dad's absent. Yeah, if the dad's absent, the women will slaughter and traumatize the children from there. That's wrong.
Especially the son.
It's
like
wrong.
you said, what you were saying earlier,
you know,
if the
wrong.
son looks like the dad.
Yeah.
Now you're
or the daughter.
Or the daughter. But I feel like the reason why I'm specifically saying the son, is because you see,
it's a man.
It's a man, and when it comes
male.
to the mother, sometimes I feel like the mother is taking out all her anger that she wanted to say to the dad.
Yeah.
On the son. You're not good enough.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you're here. You'll never amount to nothing. You're just nothing. You get on my nerves. You're
Let
this,
the
you're that.
children speak. You know, when they get older, they will be able to have the opportunity to speak to their father. Sometimes they will, sometimes they may not.
Yes.
But do not slaughter the man to the children.
Yeah.
The father, it's not good.
And vice versa.
Because at the end of the day, they'll just have this bad image of men in general.
Yep.
You know, they'll just feel like all men is like this.
Yep.
No, and furthermore, we don't know what problems or what that father faced. You know, there's always a story behind it.
There is.
Do you know
There
what I mean?
is.
Some men don't business. It's literally,
They're just
some men that literally just don't
care.
business.
They
They
just
don't
don't,
business.
yeah, no.
You know, but you've got some fathers that have tried everything in their power to be in their children's lives, and because of the mothers, this is why they're not in the children's lives.
Yeah. Go to court.
Go to court.
Go to court. You can always get somewhere with court. Like, trust me, it's something better than nothing. But it's a bit serious. It actually is a bit serious, this whole traumatic thing, how people choose their partners, how it affects you in the long run, you know, and the decisions that you make, the abandonment issues that you may have.
Yep.
You know, the baggage that you carry that you don't even realize that you carry. And sometimes it's like what Aisha was saying earlier, it's the small things. But you see, all these small things, they add up. They add up and they become bigger things. And you realize, wow. I feel like there's a point in time in my life where I just did not care. And I was just like, why don't I care? You know, you have to reflect and look into yourself. Like, why don't you business? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you supposed to be acting like this? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's probably from traumas.
Yes.
You don't realize it.
Yeah.
And then you start when you start realizing, you start reflecting within yourself. You're like, whew, can my feminine energy be at the forefront here rather than the masculine? Because we got both. Men and women got both.
Yeah.
But it just depends which one is at the forefront. At this present time in my life, I'm very happy and content, and the feminine energy is at the forefront. Okay? I use the masculine every now and then, but before it was the opposite, I would say, personally. You know, so...
If you don't agree, then let us know.
No, sir. No, sir.
You're feisty and bright. Where's it?
You chat too much. You chat too much.
She's feisty and bright and breezy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
On that
my
note,
gosh.
people, we are going to wrap up this wonderful show and this wonderful topic.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just something that we just need to talk about. You know, it's not all about flowers and roses.
No.
We have to talk about the tough stuff as well.
Yes.
But if you can't be good, be careful. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for those that share consistently. Thank you for those people that always talk about our show, because sometimes it's word by mouth as well, not just sharing through the YouTube and all the social medias. Big up our 2 Facebooks, big up Kick, big up Mixcloud, big up GMPC Live Radio, big up Bigo. Is that it?
Did you say Mixcloud?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Big up all of the platforms, them. Love you guys. And if you can't be good, be careful out there. And don't be in a people business.
Aye.
Try your best.
Try your best.
Yeah, and try.
And
Try your best.
talk to people that you can talk to. If you have a safe space,
Yes.
express thyself.
Exactly. You know, I mean, end of the day, we all can try and be the best people that we can.
Yeah.
You know, and
Love
trying
and
to
light.
give the best advice that we can. Yeah, so love and light, like it says.
Love and light.
Take care of yourself.